Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an Age of Empires forecasted game, and today in the southeast corner of the map, in orange, we've got Demuslim representing Team Liquid playing as the Ottomans. And in the northwest, his opponent, a man fictional but full of lightning and thunder, is Thor playing as the Rus in teal. And he will be playing on the west side of the map, which will be 4 lakes. Name suggests there are 4 lakes, north, south, west and east. Should have gone east and west first, but yeah, well, it is what it is. You get the drill. It's going to be 4 lakes, and the map has a very nice biome. It's the New Sahara Desert biome. Very nice to watch. A bit difficult to play on, I suspect, at least in terms of looking at the minimap. Holy moly, that's a lot of deer here being challenged for Demuslim. He's going to try and deny some of the bounty. Now, one thing to bear in mind on the new preview build of the game, what we're expecting in October, and in the main event for Red Bull Wololo Legacy, is that the sheep don't actually get the Rus bounty anymore. It's one of the nerfs that have happened. It's actually getting a lot of the bounty denied here. Oh, that's not really what you would want. Going to take an engagement against the scouts, and again, Demuslim denying a lot of the bounty. Not ideal. Might be able to get another wolf here. There's another wolf here on the right to be had as well. Oh, Thor missing out on this. And it might be the case that Demuslim just aggroes this wolf. Actually, neither going for it. I'm not entirely sure why. Do wolves not give bounty anymore? I believe they probably do. In any case, 4 lakes means that both players are likely to dock early, and it'll be interesting to see how the Ottomans fare on 4 lakes. Rus, known to be one of the most strongest civilizations on this map, in part because of the economy that they have. The fact that these fishing ships, the larger fishing ships, don't need to travel back to the dock to deposit their food, means they can just really gather that food and drop it off instantly. It's pretty damn strong, and he's going to be getting this wolf now as well with 2 scouts, and looks like you should be able to get a bit more bounty. Let's take a look at the trouble with this new overlay. Well, not so much trouble, but one thing it's lacking, unfortunately, is you can't really see the bounty levels for the Rus, and that's kind of a thing that we would love to see. Hopefully the developers will implement that into the Capture Age overlay for the casters, obviously, and but it's looking great so far, as you can see on the top and the bottom. Lots of information to be had, and it's really nice for the casters to be able to get a good overview of the game and how it's panning out. I have blocked out the score you see on the right side where the player names are. It does automatically give their score. There's no toggle for it, so I've just covered up so it doesn't give the game away a little bit. We see now villagers going towards that gold vein for Demuslim. Has the fish booming economy starting off, but it looks like Thor is actually playing this predominantly on land, which is rather interesting. Choosing to ignore water entirely here. Getting wheelbarrow from the hunting cabin. Interesting approach to the game. Quite a few fishing ships out for the Ottomans. That will pay back relatively soon as well, because he's going to be getting a lot of food from that. Fastest food gathering rate in the game will be from the deep water fish. Interesting build coming out for the Rus. I'm pretty sure he hasn't docked, right? I mean, where is... Oh, he has. He has a docked on the north. I take it back. Not easy to spot on the minimap. I think it's only just happened, though, because it's only got 1 fishing ship out. It will take the Rus a bit of time to get those fishing ships out, but once they do, it should help and really start to boost that food income. As you can see, the food income for Demuslim a lot stronger because he went straight out to a dock. 400 food per minute, and it's going to go up with the Sultan Hani trade network. Let's just see where that market is. There is a market there towards the north, and that could be something he trades out to. There is a potential to trade out to the west here, but that's a little bit closer to his opponent. Probably would be pretty risky to do so. And it's going to palisade walls these edge, because the thing about the Rus, although actually that's interesting, because the Rus don't necessarily have to do this anymore. The new rework of the waters means that the Rus can fight on the water. Previously their Lodger attack ship were pretty rubbish, and now of course they will have access to the Lodger galley, which is an archer ship, of course. And so with the bit more of a fairer fight on the waters, does change things up a little bit. Of course, the Rus having still access to the Lodger fishing ship, so they're going to be incredibly strong on water, actually, the Rus. That is for sure. Because one thing that we're deficient on is the military, and now that they've got the military, and they've still got the Lodger fishing boat working like they are, that's going to be huge amounts of food income, and a really powerful civilization on water. A couple of traders coming out. 2 garrisoned inside already. You get 2 for free, generating 28 gold per minute each. That's a nice bit of golden income there. Golden Gate, speaking of gold, that is the landmark of choice for the Rus, going up at about in a couple of minutes, maybe 2 minutes roughly. We shall see. Using 5 villagers to build that. Looks like Demuslim's on the way to palisade walls. His fishing economy as well. Trouble for Demuslim is that the Rus are incredibly strong on the wood economy. Especially if he decides to get a wooden fortress here to boost this lumber camp. Does have wheelbarrow in here, of course, the Rus. Get that nice and early. The Ottomans don't get that too early though in this game. Something to put into consideration though with the change in build orders is that because of the sheep not gathering you 5 gold per sheep anymore, it does mean you have to be a bit careful about getting it too early of in a wheelbarrow. Just to make sure you can advance to the next stage and have enough gold to do so. Often they would rely on that bounty to do so. Getting that wooden fortress could boost to that wood income by 20%. Now you can garrison up to 6 traders in the Sultan Hani trade network. Has got 5 already so far. A decent amount of gold trickle will be coming in for Demuslim. Rather slow start on 4 lakes, but it's kind of expected as how the game goes on this map. Both players go for actually pretty big fish booming here now for Thor. That food income is keeping up with Demuslim despite going to fish relatively late. It's going for a second dock as well on the west. That is huge. That food economy is going to be huge if that gets up and running. As the feudalage now does come in for Thor. No dock on the south though for the Ottomans today. Not yet anyway, at least. This is game number 2 from a series, by the way, so if you haven't checked it out, maybe worth watching the first game on Prairie. That was a fantastic game. With no spoilers, of course. Now Thor scouts this out. He knows what's going on. I'm sure he's anticipating that fish boom anyway. Blacksmith going down in nice open areas for the Ottomans. Maybe we'll be adding in or thinking about adding in a military academy or 2. He's heading out to Stone now with 2 villagers. Extending himself out to gold here, Thor. Maybe looking to get that castle age. You can see plenty of food in the bank. For both players, it has to be said. Ottoman's playing this kind of nicely here, actually, with the gold trickle coming in from the Sultan Hani trade network, and the fish boom will mean he'll be up to the castle age relatively soon, probably ahead of his opponent. And he's going to go with the Istanbul Imperial Palace. That's a nice landmark. We'll be giving the Ottomans double Imperial Council experience around the landmark and increase the Vizier point limit by +2. Be good for the late game. If he gets there, of course. Abbey of the Trinity is the landmark of choice for Thor. We'll be hoping to get some of those relics. Now, what's something that's kind of interesting is that the Vizier points do allow access to the Ottomans to one little bonus in particular, which is getting 2 free Imams. We don't see that happening just yet, but with Castle Age on the way, I suspect Demuslim rather, may be opting to do that because he will want to get some of those relics nice and early. Whereas, of course, the Rus will have to wait for the religious landmark to be placed and to start producing those warrior monks. As soon as that Vizier point comes in, if it does anytime soon, he'll be able to get those 2 Imams for free. We haven't seen the Istanbul Palace, Imperial Palace all that often, so it'll be interesting to see how this one pans out, because we often see the Mehmed Imperial Academy with the free siege engines. It's an interesting landmark to have been chosen here. A lot of testing for the both players, obviously preparing for Red Bull Wololo Legacy. Demuslim is. We don't know about Thor, we don't actually know who he is. It's quite likely to be a Red Bull Wololo Legacy contestant, or participant rather. Contestant makes it sound like a game show, which it isn't. It's very serious business here. Triple stable coming out, so going to be lots of lancers, knights coming out for the Ottomans. Now, getting to the castle age first does mean a little bit of a lead time, but not all that much, because obviously the Abbey of the Trinity is up and running now, getting some warrior monks out. Not a lot else going on, but apart from the dock is now up and running on the south, only just getting that up and running now though. Getting for a mosque to get some of those relics. But it's going to be delayed to do so. Looks like Thor has 1 relic in his grasp already with the warrior monk. Bringing it back home. The knights on the wood line there for Demuslim going to be harassing a lot, but there are crossbows on the field for Thor, so Thor will be taking care of that very easily. A knight here on attack, an early knight for Thor as well. Can do some damage to the villages on that wood line. The trouble is that Demuslim doesn't have much in terms of reinforcements, in terms of crossbows. We can hear that gong for the Vizier points. Unfortunately, with the overlay, we can't actually see what he decides to go for. And what he spends the Vizier points on, I'm afraid. Would quite possibly be for an extra military score. Knights do come back home for Demuslim, clears that all up. One relic is already in the grasp there for Thor. Second is in, and a third coming on the way. And looks like Demuslim might be running out of opportunities for relics now. I see another one being picked up. Should be able to make it back home quite nicely. A couple of army units, 7 crossbows in the South Forest. Wrapping around, the knights will head into that gold vein. That could become a problem for Thor. Might lose some villagers here. Quite likely to. The charge comes in for the knights, gets a good amount of damage. 1 goes down, 2 goes down, and a third. Possibly a 4th. Likely to be a 4th. Gets a 4th and now pulls away. Oh, even a 5th. Another villager comes out to the death. Oh, it's going to take care of the spearman first. Spearman for Demuslim snipes that villager. A couple of crossbows just there in the back line. Warrior Monk being denied there. And this is a good engagement for Demuslim. Takes a lot of villagers. Thor has a lot of eco here. 63 economy. Wololo going off. Might capture some villagers, possibly. Nope. Gets out of there. And the greater economy is partly down to, well, it's purely down to the 2 docks that have been working for a very long time now for Thor. No second town centre for either player just yet. Archery range is going down. Maybe some Janissaries might be helpful here for the Muslim. We shall see. The army numbers really starting to build up for Thor. This is what the Rus do. They do it best. Got huge amounts of wood economy, huge amounts of food economy from the fishing ships. Getting another monastery. Doesn't have enough space for the relics there in the first Abbey of the Trinity. Those knights won't last for much longer there for the Ottomans. Transitioning into Sipahi, a very nice unit to counter the crossbows. Trouble is, there's a lot of spearmen on the field. And those spearmen will be doing a lot of damage to the Sipahi. The Sipahi do have a nice, unique ability. They can activate Fortitude, which actually increase their attack speed for 10 seconds, but it does increase the amount of damage they receive by 50% for 10 seconds as well. See a meta coming out, the drummer working hard, will be increasing the attack speed by 15%. Here another Vizier point being accumulated there for the Ottomans. Looks like Thor's going to try and wall up this economy in the south. Keeps his army on hand as well. Definitely enough army to deal with this because he's got crossbows and spears. Natural counters to these units, and engagement happens. The Muslim loses a couple of units for free there. Less than ideal. And behind this, the Muslim's going to try and wall up the north area just to try and protect his economy just a little bit. The Muslim does have the mobility. The problem for him is he doesn't have the economy to match his opponent just yet at the moment. And once these fortified palisade walls go up, it'll be very helpful for the Rus. Now don't forget as well, one thing that has been changed, or will be being changed at least, is that these fortified palisade gates, or walls rather, will be increased in build time. They currently sit at 3 seconds to build that. They're going to be going up to 7. You see the Rus here with the Lodger attack ships. Wait. Okay, yeah. The Lodger attack ship is the Springald. Lodger galley is the archer ship. Going to be taking out that fishing economy in the south, and that's the problem. Fishing economy cut down into half, and that's engagement here with the crossbows and the spears on the front line. Janissaries are there, but they're kind of on their own, don't have too much of a meat shield. The Sipahi engage against the spears. This is a terrible fight for Demuslim. He's going to lose everything here. 66 military versus 39. We'll have the defender's advantage. A couple of Janissaries there, but they're going to be picked apart by the ranged units, and this is an issue. Big issue for Demuslim. Thor putting even more pressure. Almost 15 minutes into the game. This could be the end here, and that isn't the end because Thor, he takes the win on 4 lakes. Demuslim taps out. I hope you guys enjoyed this casted game. We'll be having more casted games of these two players, so do stick around and click that right hand card screen for the next game. Take care and see you next time.